The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 34th pick to the Green Bay Packers. With the 34th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Christian Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Green Bay Packers have selected a wide receiver. They finally did it. They went out, they traded up with the Minnesota Vikings, picks 53 and 59 for pick number 34. And we ended up getting Christian Watson, the speedy wide receiver from North Dakota State. Now, obviously, before we get into the pick, we do need to discuss the trade. And to be completely honest with you, I'm glad we traded up, because if you look at where we were at on the board, 53 and 59, if we would have waited, pick 52 was George Pickens, pick 53 was Alec Pierce, 54 was Sky Moore. So right there, right in front of where we would have been, wide receivers would have won. So the fact that we traded up and got the guy that I know we wanted, I know that Goot was going to get him because of that RAS score, baby. And he ended up picking a beast in Christian Watson, guys. He kind of reminds me of Cooper Kupp, you know, small school, big talent type of guy. You know, some people have said maybe he's like a top 20 pick if he's, you know, wearing a different logo on the helmet if he's going to a bigger school. So overall, you know, rare combo of explosiveness, style, size, and substance. Those are the big four for me. 4.36 40 time. His game speed is terrifyingly fast. If you're watching some of these clips, this is actually every single touchdown throughout his career at NDSU. Electric, graceful, smooth are some other words to describe this guy. 30% of his plays went for 20 plus yards. Also 14 of his touchdowns where they came from 40 yards or more throughout his career. So a big play guy for sure. Big MVS replacement to me. Only 17% of the time he was in the slot. The rest of the time, 80%, he was out wide. I guess it's not the rest of the time, just basically the rest of the time. Let's see here. What else did I want to mention? Fluidity and change of direction, not expected from someone of his size. He's 6'4", very much reminding me of like a DK Metcalf, a Jordy Nelson type guy. And as I mentioned kind of in the intro, that RAS score, that ranked 2 out of 2,613 wide receivers going back to 1987. So yeah, that speaks for itself. You know, he's someone who Matt LaFleur's gonna love this guy. Jet sweeps, occasionally lining up as halfback. This is going to be the perfect system for him to maximize his talents. He averaged 26.4 yards per return as a returner, as well as 2 return touchdowns. So definitely a special teams guy as well. That was a need for us going into the draft. We fill the hole there. Average yards running the ball, I think it was 8, and he also had 20 yards per reception. He led all wide receivers in this class in target yards added, which basically is receivers yards per target, and then you subtract the QB yards per attempt when throwing to anyone else, meaning that statistically, that's just putting this all together. He is the most valuable and efficient wide receiver in this class. 4.33 yards per route ran, that's the highest in the class by a large margin, as well as 20.7 yards per reception, again, highest in the class by a very large margin. Let's get into some of the negatives about him though, because there are a couple that I want to go over. The first one, playing at NDSU with the lesser competition. You know, going into college, it was his only offer, and he dominated the competition. I feel like that's what matters the most when you're looking at this guy. You can see his 40 time here, and must not be looking at the tape if you think that this guy is a negative on him or a knock on him is going to be that he played at NDSU. Now real quick, I'm going to read you some stats that are about to be relevant. So in 2021, he accounted for over a third of the touchdowns, almost a third of the completions, and over 1/3 of the yards for NDSU's offense. And so this whole thing about his production, right? You can't grade him on pure production because it's such a low volume offense compared to, you know, the other wide receivers that are coming out. Jamison Williams, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. Ohio State and Alabama, they average like 25 passes per game. Ohio State averaged 17 passing, or not Ohio State, what am I talking about? North Dakota State. They averaged 17 passing attempts per game this year. They had one game where they averaged, where they had over 25. And the whole issue with drops, I mean, it's a percentage that is going to hurt players who have higher target volume. Christian Watson accounting for almost a third of the completions and over a third of the yards in the NDSU offense. It's not a big deal. Throw him on the jugs machine. He can get better at catching. I've also seen people try and knock his route running tree. And if you're as dominant as you are, you know, over the top, going deep, long balls, don't overcomplicate it. Why are we knocking him for not having, you know, the perfect slant route when he's clearly not built for that? You know, this is a guy, this is an MVS replacement. This is a deep threat. This is the next Jordy Nelson. And I would like to challenge you to find a wide receiver who carried their college team's passing offense more than Christian Watson did, because you're not going to find one. Not to mention the NDSU offense, run heavy. So he was being used to complement the run game. What's another team that has a great run game? You know, there's a team that I can think of who has Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon on their roster. And you better believe that once they announce what jersey number he's wearing, I'm going to cop a jersey, because this guy is going to be special, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so there it is. I just wanted to get my initial thoughts out there into the universe and see what you guys think about the pick. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to hit me up on Twitter. My link to that is in the description below. Probably be back Monday or Tuesday covering the rest of our draft picks. We still have quite a few to go. I'm excited to see who we add at tight end, see if we pick up a safety. Still a few more holes to fill along this Green Bay Packers team, but I think we're going to be able to get it done one way or another. As always, go Pack Go.